Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Chat court discussion in the chat. All right. Let's let people know we added in. Let's see. All right. What could be better? All right. Big Logic. What's going on, buddy? Here's your chance to surge to the head of the pack while everybody else is asleep. Yeah, it's really unfair that we don't have a consistent starting time. But honestly, I think it's best to just get this done. You know, just get as many sessions in as I can. I think I'm doing like 2 a day now. Trying to get, if we can get 5,000, 10,000 words down a day, although that is a big variance. We will finish this pretty shortly, and we're up to 187 pages. If we did 5 chapters today, we'd be halfway done. Although we have to LRH later, and you know, a lot of stuff that would keep it going. So I drank this green Ito-en tea, and they changed their bottle, so it's like flimsy as a you know, like one of those cheap water bottles or whatever. You used to have this thick plastic that you could make a bong out of, and now you cannot. So just another way that the liberals are ruining America. It's oi ocha. All right, you're locked in. All right, so let's take a look at what's going on Royal Road. Royal Road. Nobody is commenting on the story. Breaking my goddamn heart. So, La Máquina Celeste lo aplasto todo. And then, yeah, some of these people are getting like 2,000 people subscribing to their thing. And I just saw some Hindus are just posting like machine translations of their story 5 times, so that they can just blanket the like new edit thing. I'm not too happy about that one. But all right, so what do we do? We did Bobbert's Bobble. We had Robin the Prodigy, The Price, The War Needs You. So we're deep into book 2. And I think the majority of this section, you can make a pipe out of an apple or a crush can. Yes, I'm well aware of the loopholes to smoke dope. And I don't think I would make a bong out of like a plastic bottle in any case. I'm just saying, like, shrinkflation is real. Now I'm getting 16.9 fluid ounces. Oh, I guess it was always 500 milliliters. But I do like the tea, though. The bold green tea is my tea of choice. I got like a case of, what is it, the jasmine green tea and the light green tea, but the bold one is my favorite because it's chock full of caffeine. Just like me. All right, let's see here. Let me click off of this. And let us begin. So, chapter 25. Oh, man. The fake camp seemed like such a good idea. And that is now a dialogue tag. Chuck winced as Vlad positioned his wolf riders to surround Bobbert and Cinnabanathi. The miniatures were pinned against a model tree made of twisted wire and lichen. I can try to parley. Maybe they'll take us prisoner, Robin suggested. He was worried. If Bobbert and Cinnabanathi died here, it would mess up his entire storyline for the Heartbroken Brigade. Imprisoned by goblins? I'd rather die fighting, Chuck grimaced. Seems likely, Duncan observed. After Bobbert's spell failed, there wasn't much Robin could do. His might stat was 2. All he had... His might stat was 2, and all he had was a dagger. I like that it thinks that it's an error, because it can't parse the multiple meanings of might. Cinnabanathi was amazing so far. Cinnabonathi had been amazing in combat so far. Uh, no, because like there's no nothing would make us capitalize might, because it's a like statistic. It's like a category of whatever. Like if it was a game rule book, we would capitalize it for just for clarity, because you call out those. We might like bold it or something like that. But in the context of the text, I don't think you would capitalize it. I know that see, mighty stat. Yeah, why is mighty stat? I guess that's a mistake often enough that the machine just thinks it. Chuck shook his head and sighed. It's my fault for pushing our luck an extra turn. Sorry, guys. That's a whole lot of wolves, Vlad, Duncan jabbed. I warned you all, splitting the party is always risky. This isn't even the worst result on the random encounter table. If you want to hoodwink the good Gorelord Horde, you can't roll a 1, Vlad shrugged. No, this is too clunky. Yeah, I think this is all right. I warned you. I warned you guys. Splitting the party is always risky. This isn't even the worst result on the random encounter table. And you want to hoodwink the good Gorelord Horde, you can't roll a 1, Vlad shrugged. Wait, is this our darkest hour? Does all hope seem lost? I'd say so, Chuck said. Mm-hmm. Splitting... I warned you guys, splitting up the party is always risky. I warned you guys, splitting the party... Yeah. I think we gain a little clarity from that. All right, so here's an excuse to use our brand new leaderboard. Ooh. And then I gotta edit this. Oh, it's so much harder to do this. Yeah, we had, like, Spathywall made me something where I could, like, increment this by 1. Because it was such a pain to the flow to do this. So, yeah, I think it had, like, even like a plus or minus that I could hit buttons for and so forth. And then, of course, I didn't save his code or do anything useful with it. I guess I could vibe code something. Because it just needs to be like a local application that spits this out into a text file that the thing is reading from. I'll look into it. There's probably, honestly, at this point, there's probably like a leaderboard plugin for OBS. But yeah, as soon as you integrate something, you're like, how can I do this different and waste more time and not focus on the task at hand? Yeah, that's the disease. I warned you guys. Splitting up the party is a big risk. I warned you guys. Splitting up the party is always risky. Nah, this is fine. So DMs will always say splitting up the party is a bad idea because it is so much mental strain to like keep 2 threads going simultaneously. They hate it. Wait, is this our darkest hour? Does all hope seem lost? Sandy asked. I'd say so, Chuck agreed. With a wide smile, Sandy slapped Ureg the Whirlwind down on the table, right behind the Boar Lord. Right behind the Boar Lord model. The Windsword Lord figurine had his cape thrown back, and a giant silver sword in each hand. I've been waiting for this all night. Let's go. Oof. That's so cringe. All right, so really good. It's like a succinct reminder that there's a fantasy game going on. Has like a little tension in it. A little clunky in the dialogue, but not the worst. The boar charged, and Faflets sang in an arc of blinding blue. The sky metal scimitar cleaved through the Boar Lord's oaken shield and bit deep into his arm, but it was not enough to stop the charge. There's always a giant boar. I had one to every story. It was not enough to stop the charge. It wasn't enough to stop the charge. The boar reared up and batted her aside like a doll. Cinnabinathi crashed against the trunk of an alder. So Cinnabinathi crashed against the trunk of an alder tree and slid into the wet moss with stars exploding into her skull. I think we did stars exploding somewhere else. Mm-hmm. That's better. Yeah, it's more cliche, but also just shorter. And Cinnabinathi crashed into the trunk of an alder tree and slid into the wet moss with stars in her eyes. Don't get taken alive. Her mind shouted, comma, but her limbs would not listen. Somehow she forced herself to her feet as the world spun around her. At any second, she expected to feel a spear stab her in the back. At any second, she expected to be run through with a spear, because they're war riders. They have spears or lances or whatever. Silver flashed in the fog, and then there was a shriek. Silver flashed in the fog, and a shriek followed. The goblins forgot her and turned to the north. A living cyclone crashed into the riders in a whirl of crushing strikes and severed limbs. At first, Cinnabinathi thought there must be at least 3 warriors. Uh, doggy. Hachi. 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 Buddy. Oh. Got a visit from a very long dog. Hello, long dog. Hello, long dog. Okay. Okay, say hello, buddy. Oh, hey, sweetheart. Oh, 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 oh. Okay. All right, I gotta take this dog outside. Enjoy your leaderboard. Buddy. Go outside. Oh yeah, this is definitely what was about to happen there. Nice comma. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There was definitely about to be. Hopefully, I didn't get pissed on just now. Yeah, the thing about little dogs, they're very cute, but they leak. I'm never buying a girl dog again. Mm-hmm. Why do I have thick? Mm-hmm. What seemed like three different warriors was just one giant with a silver Zweihander in either fist. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hello, hello, friend. Oh, did you want to edit? All right, Hachi. Hachi. What should we do with this story, buddy? Oh, should we lick me in the face constantly? Mm-hmm. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, amiga. What's going on, buddy? Mm-hmm. Oh, you're the sweetest. Hello. Hello. Oh, were you lonely? Lonely. She's sitting upstairs in like a giant bed all by herself. And she just, like the other dog wakes up and wants to go outside and like, hey, what's going on? And she's just like, I don't know why she sleeps like Scrooge McDuck, but, oh. Hachi, you're impossible. You're impossible, doglet. Hello. Hello. Here. You can hang out here for the entirety of this thing, right? This will be your spot. All right, let me let you down. Close the door. Mm-hmm. We're gonna go on a walk later. Yes. Big walk. I'm gonna throw the ball. All right. I mean, what are the odds that those dogs elected to poop outside the house rather than within it? Everybody's wondering the same thing. All right. Silver flashed in the fog and a shriek followed. The goblins forgot her and turned towards the north. And wheeled to the north. A living cyclone crashed into the riders in a whirl of crushing strikes and severed limbs. What seemed like three different warriors was just one giant with a silver Zweihander in either fist. He was already painted in goblin blood. Bear. How can it censor 9/11? I have like it's supposed to have everything censored on here or uncensored. I just hate like where they won't uncensor stuff. And for whatever reason, Twitter, like you have to be logged into Twitter to see people's profiles and stuff. So all my profane tweets, like nobody can see them. It's worthless. Yeah, Elon ruined my profile just because I am intensely profane and offensive. That's hardly a reason. Make it out for 9/11. K10 honks when he sleeps. Oh, that's right. Are you having like some sort of ceremony or something around that time? Well, making it out for September is going to be hard. Let me figure out what's what. But I think I already agreed to this, like thinking that I would be free during that time. Sinabanathi recognized the dervish. Here was Ureg the Whirlwind, the leader of the wind-sworn reavers from the Battle of Aravitramor. The enemy general from the Battle of Aravitramor. The same fool who'd rallied his troops and charged right into the bladed... The same fool who'd rallied his troops and charged into the bladed breath of the diamond drake. Where was his army now? Half of them had evaporated in a gout of shards. He fought alone. Perhaps he was the only survivor. Ureg's whirling charge had caught the goblins by surprise, but now he was surrounded by stabbing spear points and snapping fangs. Blood streamed down his broad chest. The Boar Lord raised his axe and howled a battle cry. His boar pawed the dirt and launched into a charge. Sinabanathi made up her mind. The dervish was a foe for sure, but she hated the goblins more. As the boar's hooves thundered past, she darted in and struck. Neat as a cleaver, the sky metal scimitar, its capital. Yeah, what do you guys, let me know in private chat exactly what's happening and when and what the idea is and so forth. And then I will try to get plane tickets if I possibly can. Yeah, hopefully it's not crazy to. It's probably like $1,200 to fly out. Well, it'd be more actually. Romania. Yeah, it's. I'll try to make it happen. But yeah, I gotta do some figuring, and I gotta start figuring right now. So yeah, let me know. Maybe email me at my email address so that I can put it on like a calendar and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I need like concrete plans to make anything happen in my life. Sinabanathi made up her mind. No worries, man. It's all F now. Well, if you need help un-effing it, see, I don't want to pay $1 to the leukemia. Why do you hate giving to charity? All right, cool. Yeah, I'd love to go back out to California, right? You know what I might do is like, yeah. What I might do is just try to do a road trip down Highway 1 and go to, what's at the bottom? It's not Santa Monica. Well, there is Santa Monica, like along the way. What's that city that's good? Not San Bernardino. Why can't I remember the name of this city? I almost wanted to live there. Way at the bottom of California, right before you get into Tijuana. What is it? How come I can't remember this? I've been there a million times. I can't remember the name of it. San Diego. So I might drive down from where you're at to San Diego. Maybe rent a motorcycle or something like that. I love the All right, there we go. Santa Barbara? No, I'm just talking about San Diego, buddy. Although Santa Barbara is down there too, right? God, so many Santas. It's Christmas every day out in California. Either that or I'd love to go back to Vancouver. So, yeah, I could probably make a go of this. Let me see. Cinnabonathi made up her mind. The dervish was a foe for sure, but she hated the goblins more. As the boar's hooves thundered past, she darted in and struck. Neat as a cleaver, the sky metal scimitar chopped through the boar's foreleg. The beast tumbled forward in a squealing roll. The beast tumbled forward in a squealing roll, and the boar lord was thrown. Ureg barely leapt out of the way. Ureg barely leapt away from the crash. Before he could recover, the boar lord flung his shield. Ureg was struck in the stomach and doubled over. Cinnabonathi advanced, thinking the boar lord would press his advantage. But the canny goblins spun... Ooh, he's canny. The canny... Hold on, let me make sure I know what... Yeah, San Diego. Let me take a look. So, careful, cautious, prudent, astute, shrewd, knowing, sagacious, skilled, expert, frugal, 50. So canny can mean frugal. Oh, so it's got Scottish. Can a wee barn? Man, everybody is going in on Stovepipe for this this trial. Yeah, canny does fit. You know what got me is I was like thinking about the uncanny X-Men. So, uncanny. What's the actual meaning of this word, right? So, uncanny means having a supernatural or inexplicable bias, beyond the ordinary, a mysterious, arousing superstitious fear or dread, uncomfortably strange. So, how did we get from canny to uncanny? Right? An obsolete meaning of the etymologically related, both originate from Scots. So canny originally meant prudent. Uncanny made canny not knowing or unknown, and then the meaning shifted from unknown to strange, mysterious, or eerie, particularly where something defies rational explanation. Okay, they share a root. Okay, all right. So both from Scots. Now we know. Yeah, that was always that was bothering me there. I mean, the real question is whether, like, a modern reader will see the word canny and be like, "Oh, okay, it means that he's clever or careful," or they'll be like, "Oh, he's an X-Man," and then then we got a trans boar lord, and it's a lot, man. Cinnabonathi advanced, thinking the boar lord would press his advantage. The canny goblins spun back. There we go. Sure, the Boar Lord would press his advantage. Instead, the canny goblin spun back and sliced at her with his axe. Cinnabonathi danced away from the swing, barely ducked under a thrown spear, and then tripped over a slain wolf. Yeah, there we go. Slain. Cinnabonathi danced away from the swing, ducked under a thrown spear, and then tripped over a slain wolf. The Boar Lord loomed over Cinnabonathi like an executioner and raised his axe high. Before it fell, a chant completed, and a brilliant white light bloomed between them. The Boar Lord held up his axe to block. It was a thunderstorm the size... It was a thunderstorm the size of a watermelon. A tiny bolt of lightning licked from the nimbus. It struck his axe and did little more than A tiny bolt of lightning licked from the nimbus, struck his axe, and did little more than stand his hair up. Oh, I like this. I like that Bobbert is constantly screwing up. Bobbert the bungler. Cinnabonathi scooted backwards. With a laugh, the Boar Lord moved in to finish her. His stolen breastplate jumped and bulged outward with a pang. The battle axe dropped from his hands. Prestidigitation. Yeah, which is just like, yeah, I remember this guy. But this is just like a very weak cantrip. There we go. His eyes went wide, and the axe... His eyes rolled up. Let's do rolled up. I'm always getting corrected on that. His stolen breastplate jumped. He lurched as his stolen breastplate bulged outward with a pang. His yellow eyes rolled up and the axe dropped from his hands. Urig's backstab had punched through his armor and pierced his heart. The Boar Lord was no more. Okay, I like it. There we go. With a shriek of steel, Urig wrenched his blade free. Covered in blood, he turned in search of more enemies. There were none. Feet flapped and shrieks sounded from the mist as the... Cool. Feet flapped and shrieks sounded from the mist. Mm-hmm. Feet flapped and brush crashed as the surviving riders fled on foot. Cinnabonathi found her feet. Are you all right? Bobbert asked. Never cast another spell, Cinnabanathi hissed. But Bobbert blubbered. Ever. Oh, Lord. Yeah, I like the kind of comedic angles of well, is it really comedic or is this just slapstick? Whatever it is, I like it. Above, the clouds cleared and the red moon peered through. Outlined in blood-red light. Mm-hmm. Outlined in crimson, Ureg moved among the fallen goblins, ensuring they were dead. He found one playing possum and stepped on its neck with an awful crunch. Mm. Look out, Bobbert warned. A wounded wolf hid in the brush. With a last burst of strength, it lunged. Ureg was bowled over, and fangs snapped at his neck. Ureg was bowled over. White fangs snapped at his neck. With a huge hand, Ureg clamped the wolf's muzzle shut and cinched a tattooed arm around its neck. The wolf snarled and thrashed. Ureg squeezed, and at last it was finished. Ureg let the broken wolf go and looked up to see Faflets pointed at his throat. Why are you here? Cinnabanathi demanded. I am not your foe, Ureg began. Quick as a cat, he tried to slap the blade aside. Mm. There we go. Ureg was burled over. He scrambled in the dirt as white fangs snapped at his neck. He scrambled in the dirt with the wolf as white fangs snapped at his neck. There we go. I'll give you a point for that one. Although I'm going to give like way less points because it is a pain to do them. Let's see. Logic 12. Cool. That's not too bad. Yeah, the semicolon feels like too much of a break, but I now know because it was two independent clauses, right? Ureg was burled over, complete sentence. Fangs snapped at his neck, complete sentence. So you definitely use a semicolon to separate those independent clauses, but I think it flows a little bit better now. A wounded wolf hid in the brush. With a last burst of strength, it lunged. Ureg was bowled over. He scrambled in the dirt. He scrambled in the dirt with the wolf as fangs snapped at his neck. With a huge hand, Ureg clamped the wolf's muzzle shut and cinched a tattooed arm around its neck like that guy. The wolf snarled and thrashed. Ureg squeezed, and at last, it was finished. Ureg let the broken wolf go and looked up to see Faflitz pointed at his throat. So you'll note that he might have just choked out the wolf. We don't explicitly slay the wolf here. Because I think as soon as your character kills a dog or a wolf, it is an evil character. Even though wolves have eaten so many people. Yeah, I wonder, like, how high wolves rank on the... Alright. Here, let's do this. I wonder if... No, you just want a period between these two? The wolf snarled and thrashed. Ureg squeezed, and at last it was finished. So, yeah, like, I do not necessarily agree. Yeah. The wolf snarled and thrashed, period. Ureg squeezed, and at last it was finished. The wolf snarled and thrashed, Ureg squeezed, and at last it was finished. Yeah, I don't want a full stop there. Yeah. Yeah, I just don't like the period there. Because this is all one flowing action, should be all one concept. Yeah, I think we'll just let this one slide and let an editor deal with it there. Because yeah, I hear you. Like, this is an easy spot to put it in. Yeah. I am not your foe, Ureg began. Quick as a cat, he tried to slap the blade aside. Cinnabonathi was faster. Faflitz cut a hot line along the side of his neck, hairs away from his jugular. Don't do that again, she warned. No, Ureg agreed. His face paled and he began to shiver. Stay still. I can't. Yeah. Ureg seemed to shrink as the rage bled from his body. All the pains of battle flooded in at once. Cinnabonathi could sympathize. Her head pounded terribly. She worried she might have cracked some ribs. Her head pounded terribly, and she worried she might have cracked some ribs. There was a long night ahead. They had leagues to make up, and more goblins would surely come. Missing a... Don't do that again, she warned. No. Where am I missing an A? I can't. Yeah, missing A after don't do that. Oh, missing a quote. Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's the point, buddy. Oh, and just tied for the lead. You're going to get another hat if you keep this up. Yeah. Yeah, so I couldn't see, because the text is real small, so I could not see the quote mark. I should look at that screen, which has there. Don't do that again, she warned. No, Ureg agreed. His face paled and he began to shiver. All right, why are you here? Oh, there we go. I got like 5 hats. Oh. Do I have a Zeros hat? I should wear that. They had leagues to make up, and more goblins would surely... I still have like a bunch of Zeros patches that I could sew onto shit, like a bomber jacket or something. I thought that would be dope. There was a long night ahead. They had leagues to make up, and more goblins would surely come. Why are you here? Cinnabonathi demanded. I came to find you. I need your help, Ureg said. Get up. You can explain later. Oh, check out this pamphlet. From Childhood Leukemia, a pamphlet for parents. And then, yeah, look at this guy. These kids and so forth. Xerox hat is on our top shelf. Hell yeah. Yeah, all my hats keep getting dog fur all over them. And then I gotta use like tape to get it off. All right, cool. So let's pull out of here. We've been editing for just 46 minutes. I think we should try to go for another chapter. But I'm hungry, so I might do like a 5-minute pit stop to eat something. All right, what is this chapter all about there? Let's just call it Ureg the Whirlwind. Is there anything cool? Oh, although it's tempting to just say F it and not do the work. There we go. Get back here, Chrome. All right, so 24 chapters. Is this chapter 25? Yeah, this is indeed chapter 25. Na, 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 na. Didn't understand the breastplate punching forward at the end of the paragraph when it turns out he got his. Well, this is something that you should have brought up back then before we pasted the entire thing into here. All right, let's see. With a laugh, and actually I edited this to make it clearer because I wasn't understanding it either. With a laugh, the Boar Lord moved in to finish him. He lurched as his stolen. Oh yeah. Stolen bulged out with a pack. No, that's not it. Yeah. He lurched in place. His yellow eyes rolled up and the axe dropped from his hand. Mm-hmm. Steel sang and he lurched in place. Boar Lords. The Boar Lord's yellow eyes rolled up and the axe dropped from his hands. Ureg's backstab had punched through his armor and pierced his heart. There we go. So I think that that clarifies a little bit better there. Now, actually, this is another point because it was all 6 different kinds of effed up. And now, boom, we can do this. So actually, like a really good point to like stop in. You ascend in the leaderboard to number 1. What would that be? 3 books that you got like added ace on? Good God. All right. Never cast another spell. Let me see how. I think it's an Una chapter next, and those are usually pretty easy to edit. Let me not even eat anything, and then we'll do one more chapter, and then I'm gonna go walk my dogs and eat something for lunch. I'm starving. Yeah, all the acid in this coffee. You know what it is? I didn't have any milk with my coffee, so my stomach is just a churning vat of acid. Ugh, good God. All right, let's add this chapter. I don't like the ending beat necessarily. Get up. You can explain later. Yeah, let's just leave it at that. All right, cool. Publish our chapter. Only drink whole milk and eat Tums. Yeah. Yeah. All right, cool. So let's actually pause for a. Oh wait, I was on the wrong screen while I was doing all this. All right, so we did all that editing, and all right, yeah, give me 5. I'm gonna eat something, and then we can try to power through. Hold on, let me make sure nobody's messaging me. Yeah, it's only 7 o'clock. I don't know why I'm like so eager to get off. We have only edited for 50 minutes. I'll be back. Mm. So about 300 calories of Brazil nuts, sausage, and cheese has been smoked into my inventory. I just got like 8 different bottles sitting in front of me of various half-drunk things. I know I'll take a swig and something will be like half fermented at some point. All right. Chapter 26. Una Aureliano Buen Dia. Shoutouts to Gabriel Garcia Marquez. It was almost 7. The dust storm skittered against the kitchen windows and the lights flickered. So so listen to this. The dust storm skittered against the kitchen windows and the lights flickered. I think it sounds much better as the dust storm skittered against the windows and the kitchen lights flickered. Luckily, the electric held up. Bendito sea Dios. Bendito sea Dios. See? Say? I think it's Bendito sea Dios. Praise the Lord. Una had so many birds to get to, and her eyes. All right, there we go. Tiny Maury came on the radio and sang Sangre de Indio, Indian blood. Tonight, there was no smart aleck grandson around to groan about música de rucos, geezer music. The dial was turned to 1350 KABQ. She could listen to whatever she liked all night. There was no smart aleck grandson around to groan about geezer music. The dial was turned to 1350 KABQ. 1350 KABQ. She could listen to whatever she liked all night. Una smiled and tapped her foot along with the rancheras and corridos, torch songs and ballads. In between songs, Una listened critically to the disc jockey and mercilessly picked out every tiny mistake. The announcer was clearly a fill-in for the regular DJ. Earlier, she'd heard him come in a second late on changing the tapes. She could picture him, a little sweaty maybe, facing a board he didn't know well. His voice was strong, but not so polished. He had a cantadito delivery that made him think she might be from somewhere in the Bahia. In the Bajío. Maybe Guanajuato. Oh my god. Mm-hmm. She could picture the DJ, a little sweaty maybe, facing a board he didn't know well. His voice was strong, but not so polished. Comma. He had a candidito delivery that made him think, Una think he might be from somewhere in the Bajío. Maybe how do you say that? Guanajuato. 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 I bet I'm like miles away from the actual pronunciation there. His patter was solid enough, but he got sloppy on the legal and station IDs. She would have been all over him for that. As the hour drew near, she watched the Kit-Kat clock tick down. The song ended right on the hour, just in time for the news. She nodded. Así se hace. That's how you do it. Una still missed working in radio. She had never wanted to retire. That was the owner's idea. Probably the whole station had breathed a sigh of relief when they got her out the door. But look at them now. The manager they brought in to replace her was some big shot from New York City who didn't know a thing about what the ABQ liked to listen to. He didn't last a year, but the damage was done. Standards slipped, their ratings went in the toilet. Standards slipped and the ratings went in the toilet. Her station, the one she'd worked so hard to make great. They would announce a format shift any day now. Es lo que hay. It wasn't her station anymore. She was a painter now. Uno. Uno was a painter now. A tiny flock of finished birds was gathering on the newspaper she'd laid over the kitchen table. Una arranged them in a flying V. She painted the eyes last, always. There was a moment where there was a moment, comma. No, we don't need a comma there. There was a moment while the paint was wet, where the bird almost seemed to come alive. I do wonder if we need a comma between wet and where. Let's find out. Yeah, so this is a time kind of aside. There was a moment, while the paint was wet, where the bird almost seemed to come alive. She liked to hold it in her palm and imagine it could. She liked to hold the bird in her palm and imagine it could spread its clay wings and fly away. It was a silly thing to think, but what did it matter? She was an old widow, along with the radio. There was only one judgment that mattered now, and it wouldn't be long. The lights flickered out and the radio cut off. Una blinked in the darkness. I didn't mean right now. Her heart beat on, but the lights didn't come back. The phone rang, too loud in the sudden quiet. P&M might be down, but Mountain Bells still had 48 volts from the station. Oh, I wish I had the full name of P&M, which was their electrical company back in the 70s. P&M is, what do they stand for? Powering New Mexico. Is that really the name of the company? P&M is New Mexico's electrical utility. All right. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to make sure that these old dogs are where they ought to be. All right, there we go. So the wiener dog was trying to get into the trash, of course. The power from PNM might be down, but Mountain Bell still had 48 volts from the substation. Something must have happened to Robin. Una never should have let him stay out late. The telephone rang on. They wouldn't wait forever. She padded across the dark kitchen. The power must be out at the store. He's fine. He's just calling to let me know he's all right. Una picked up the receiver. Hello? Miss Martillo? It's Dr. Suarez. Sorry about the hour. Are you free to speak? Una's mouth fell open. No. Miss Martillo? Are you there? I'm sorry. Yes. Now is fine, Una said. Why is this a chapter, by the way? This is so short. It could have easily been an aside from whatever. But, yeah, it's not too bad. I know what I'm trying to do here, which is build some tension about his medical situation. Yeah, new chapter. There we go. Wait, why did our gate stop working? All right, hold up. Channel. Gate. Huh, weird. Alright, so it's the mic that's pulling stuff in. Oh, okay. Yeah, the compressor got so loud. Yeah, that we needed to turn down our range because it was like loud enough that the air conditioner stuff was getting through the gate. Alright, cool. So we got 2 chapters. I bet those dogs would love to go for a walk, honestly. This is a short chapter. This is maybe like 500 words. Almost not really long enough to be a chapter, but, you know, it is nice to have like 60 chapters. It's a round number. Hold on. Okay, just there is, where I gotta do my gate to. It sounded fine to you, but remember, I'm listening in headphones, so I don't know if you got headphones on or whatever. But yeah, there's a lot of noise in the background. I think it's getting hot, and the compressor just kicked up a notch. You know, it's midday. Let's see. What was I trying to get? Okay, so I was trying to go here. Oh, you got headphones? Well, you know. Una or Elenio Buendias. I don't know if, yeah, when we don't need the period at the end of that. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right, and so I want to say that the next chapter is Ureg's story, and that it is very long. So maybe like an okay spot to stop. Let's see. Matthew struggled. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is a long ass chapter. 27 goes for like 10 pages or something. Oh yeah. This is the whole next editing section. Oh yeah, like the this guy right here. Yeah, I wanted like a library lamp over the typewriter. I gotta redo the background on this guy, honestly. You can move that lamp over a little bit, do some other stuff. Yeah, I thought I would be just doing writing streams where it's like entirely on the typewriter and so forth, but it's hard. All right, let's stop here. Even though it's only like an hour that we've edited, I know the next chapter is really hard, and we're gonna need to put some time into it. So thank you for popping in, Logic.